The Denver and Rio Grande Railroad was constructed to bring wealth and fame to the resorts. I, General William Jackson Palmer, am the co-founder of the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad. I started my early career life helping build and expanding railroads. I am also president with my good friend William Abraham Bell, who is vice president. He is also the other co-founder of the railroad. My job is to conduct a railroad that dictated terms to small towns. The railroad had to be built a few miles away, often destroyed in the submitting town because they did not have the railroad. The Rio Grande and our successors eventually operated the largest network. I am noted for observing and helping introduce railroads. But it was just business, and overall I am heavily responsible for the development of the railroad. I have had many dreams for the DNRG that are better for it. My original plan for the railroad was to build south to El Paso, Texas, but the circumstances turned the line westward. The Denver and Rio Grande Railroad never reached farther south than northern New Mexico. As the railroad expanded, it ran into other conflict. These conflicts were resolved peacefully. Our next step was to take passengers along the railroad. I intended to provide a north and south link between the major railroads that pass north and south of Colorado. Disaster struck. The Rio Grande was undergoing foreclosure. A development took place in Denver that was to be the next great significance in the later years. Many people believed the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad would foreclose due to unbalanced finances. The Denver and Rio Grande Western emerged from bankruptcy in a 12-year period of trusteeship. Millions were raised and spent for the sale of the trustee. Denver and Rio Grande was in court, fighting under the Federal Bankruptcy Act. The U.S. District Court appointed Wilson McCarthy and Henry Swan as co-trustees. The two men spent $18 million on the company. The railroad's fortunes had turned around to be a remarkable. In April, the trusteeship of Swan and McCarthy ended, and the Denver and Rio Grande returned to private ownership under the ICC-approved recognition plan. For a change, trustees were appointed by the courts, Wilson, McCarthy, and Henry Swan, who were interested in the property, operating the railroad, instead of running it for maximum profit. Millions were raised and spent from the sale of trustee certificates. On April, the Denver and Rio Grande Western emerged from bankruptcy once again, and another period of trusteeship. The railroad, feeling to local concerns, ways passed largely by economic mess this daily. The Denver and Rio Grande Railroad nicely sat either sources of wealth after not being able to take advantage of federal land grants. My success of the Denver and Rio Grande has supported many other people. It has given many people the luxury of desire.